Okay, YouTube, we're back after a very long hiatus due to COVID-19. We thought we'd get off to this new season of ours with the start by answering some questions that were put to us by some of our viewers on YouTube. And the first question that was put to us is actually going to be part of a series where we look at the practicality of certain shots for combatives and for self-protection. So the question that was asked of us was about the hand sword, or the knife edge shot, as some people might call it. Very common shot that you see in an awful lot of traditional martial arts, and I really wanted to talk about this because it is something that's very present in what we've practiced for most of our martial arts careers. So we're going to get into it now, but before we do that, please consider actually clicking the subscribe button below. Also consider liking the video, and if you do have any questions about self-protection, combatives, please leave comments down below, and we'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. So, the hand sword, as we call it, or the outward hand sword, which is we know it as in Kempo Karate, a shot that basically utilizes the outside of the arm, normally actually going either here into someone's neck or into the side of someone's jaw. This is actually something that I'm a huge fan of. There's multiple reasons why I'm actually a huge fan of this shot, and I'm going to explain why. First thing is the momentum of this shot. Technically speaking, when you find yourself in a self-defense situation, you're talking about most likely being very close to someone who's actually attacking you. When actually executing this shot, it works extremely well from a hand position which is either at the chest or even higher. So actually applying this shot here, rotating the arm out, and actually striking right here, either into someone's neck or into someone's jaw, can be very effective. The reason why it can actually be very effective is because it naturally leads into second shots, third shots, fourth shots, fifth shots. So in other words, if I was to throw a hook at me here, I hit him here. From there, I can easily follow through with either a hammer shot, multiple punches, I can throw a palm strike. There's a variety of different things you can do, but it's a very good initial shot to use, particularly if someone's actually striking you. If someone was to actually say come at you at a low angle, say with like in a stabbing motion from a low hand, as I actually try and block here, I apply the shot here to the neck. The thing I really like about it in this situation is that it actually acts as a lever or a wedge to maintain distance between you and your opponent. If your goal here is to basically try and lock the person up, you can use this to maintain the relevant distance that you need to control the person. That's another thing that I really, really like about this shot. One technical note that I do have to make on this is that the name of this shot, hand sword, is actually very, very deceiving, because most people would assume that it's a shot that's applied solely with the outside of the hand. That's not how I would practice it. It's certainly not how I would practice it. In fact, when I'm using this shot, I always try and incorporate the forearm, simply because the outside of the forearm is an extremely well reinforced area in your body. So it's easier for this part of your body to actually absorb pressure than it is for the hand, which is actually bound by the flexibility and the fragility of your wrist. So keep in mind, when you're practicing this shot, it is not solely to be used with the hand. It also has to incorporate the outside of the forearm here. Forearm, not just the hand. Now, there'd be a lot of debate about whether or not you should actually have your hands open when applying this shot. Keep in mind, when we're actually teaching self-defense to people, we would always advise that people actually start the situation with the hands open. So there is benefits to actually keeping the hands open when applying this. The biggest benefit that you'll see is that if someone actually comes in with a hook punch here and I apply this shot, the fact that my hand is open actually leads me directly into a grip, if that's actually my goal. If my goal is to restrain this person, open hand, grabbing into it, just here around the neck, it's a very useful shot. So why don't we pull in here? That's another great benefit to this shot. So please keep in mind, when practicing this, incorporate the forearm, keep the hand open, and make sure it's very, very clear exactly where you're actually striking with this. The neck, into the jaw, in around to the side of the head. It's not a shot that I would actually apply into the body. It's definitely something that I would apply to this area here. Straight into the soft targets, exactly. How you practice this? There is a basic way to practice this. Normally when you're doing pad work, particularly for this shot alone, we'd actually situate the pad up here, just so it gives you a good visualization of where your target is. Some people I see this, they try and practice it here as if they're actually doing punching drills. Personally, I wouldn't recommend that because you wouldn't actually apply this to anywhere other than the side of the neck. It's much smarter to actually practice this with the pad actually held up here. So, technicality of it, hands are up. You would rotate your hips. As I rotate my hips, I extend my forearm directly into the pad. Again, I rotate my hips. I strike with my forearm, going directly into the pad. This is not a shot, by the way, that I would practice on its own. It's something that I would actually practice with some sort of multiple shot combination. It would certainly be my leading shot. So it would be the first shot that I apply here. But I would also follow through with a variety of other shots, whether those be palm strikes, whether those are hammer fists, punches, doesn't actually matter. You select what order you want to actually follow through with after applying this shot. But do keep in mind, I personally wouldn't actually see this as a knockout shot. It's definitely a good preemptive strike, and it's a very, very good shot to lead with. But do not, under any circumstances, make the assumption that you're just going to knock the person out, like in some Jackie Chan movie, with that one shot. Do practice it as part of a drill. Forearm, follow through. Palm strike, hammer shot, punch. You decide yourself, but do follow through. Ballistic striking is extremely important because it's never guaranteed that you're going to knock someone out with just one shot. But nonetheless, it's a very effective shot. I really like it a lot. Thanks for watching. As I say again, please consider hitting the subscribe button below. Please consider liking the video, and if you have any questions about combatives or self-protection, please put them in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer them as soon as we can.